YouTube's Willable Development. It's my 427th weekly update. So I missed last week. Not a whole bunch went on. And the reason I missed is because I was down in Miami for a show that I was helping sponsor and do all that. So it was a very busy week. Finishing up stones and all these other things. I guess first I should welcome you to the official new studio. I finally moved all of my tacky making and shipping station from what would be my dining room to the spare bedroom finally. And as you can tell, it's a little echoey in here. The lighting is a little weird, and there's still a bunch of stuff in here that I need to move and organize and just kind of generally get around. That way I can kind of find a good spot to finally put everything. I mean, even I'm set up enough to where I can do my work, and that's about it. And even then, it's not optimal just yet. I'm still setting everything up. But like I said, last week was crazy, and then this week was even crazier, and probably dumb. I'm even taking the time to shoot this video right now, since I need to get up at probably about 3:30, because I have to drive 2 hours. And it's to the West Coast, and you just never know how bad it's going to be, but I need to be there around 7, and I'm pretty much right at capacity with all the stuff I had to bring. Ended up being 4 Atlas stones, 2 for, actually they were all for prior customers, every single one I'm bringing, but 4 Atlas stones ranging all the way as light as 150 and all the way up to a 325, and then I have a block that I believe is going to be used predominantly as carries, with a pretty cool design. It actually has like handles embedded in it. Not going to get into those right now. Didn't come out quite as nice as I would have hoped, but they are still more than functional. And that thing weighs about 308-ish pounds. And then I built the trigs for the show that I'm going to tomorrow. I just keep calling them trigs. I don't actually know if that's what they're called. Possibly platforms, but it's the piece that the people, including myself, are going to be sitting on while we do the seated arm-over-arm event at the show. And built them out of melamine and honestly just a bunch of leftover 2x4s I had. Just to make sure we had something really nice to sit on and slide on as we do the event. So yeah, not going to waste a ton of time on here. I also have done 0 training. I touched 2 of the events, one being the Farmer's Hold and one being the keg press, and neither one of them were comp weight, especially since we've been moved up. Myself and the other lightweight man have been moved up to the 220s. I weighed in this morning virtually at a crisp 185 with all of my clothes on, so I was probably around 183 this morning. So I'm giving up a good bit of weight to the other 2 competitors that were originally going to be in the 220 anyway. But all I can do, I'm just going to do my best. This is just a fun little comp. I really don't care how I do, especially now with how stressful this whole week has been. Between getting all the stones finished, making sure they were all up to standard, as well as I've been the gym from 4 o'clock till I've been leaving here at 3:30 and then getting home at about 8 every night. So yeah, just about 5 hours of my day just gone every single day this week, just covering the gym, which has been fine. I'd do it again in a heartbeat if I could. But it's just, it's added a lot of stress to everything, and loading up the stones tonight was another real fun challenge. We ended up getting it done. My right bicep and arm are screaming right now, and I just wish I could be getting more than 6-ish hours of sleep. It's actually going to be even less than that once I get this uploaded and showered and everything, but I'm going to try to do the smart thing and just get this and that done while I can. Try to get 2 or 3 things done all at once, but like I said, this is just going to be a fun little comp for me. It's unsanctioned, it's not one of those this isn't the one where I'm going to leave it all out there, except possibly on the arm over arm event, honestly. Just with how my arm feels, and I know how I can get on the farmer's hold, it's just not worth getting an actual injury on an event like that. But I know the arm over arm drag it's close to a deadlift. And yeah, there's a little bit of curling, but you know, both hands are supporting the same weight, and basically when this arm is going to let up a little bit, this arm will make up for that. And I'll actually be leading with the left hand too, so that's going to be taking a good brunt of the forces on that particular event. So I'll leave it all out on that, and the other. Honestly, with the way this arm feels, unfortunately on the bag toss, the weights have obviously gone up because we're moving up weight class. I originally had plans to one arm the 25 and the 30, possibly the 35, and then finally get a 40 over. Just with the way the arm feels today, I already know my game plan is just two-hand every single one, because the last weight is actually a 50, and 50 feet over 12 feet. I don't know if I can do that, especially after 3 other bags, where 2 of them are going to feel heavy to me, being the 35 and the 40. Those 2 will feel heavy to me. But if I get the 40 over, I'll call it a win. But just with the way this arm feels, single arm throws are just out of the question. It's not worth hurting myself over, like I said, unsanctioned comp. Going up a weight class, won't zero anything. That's good enough for me. Luckily, the press is still the same weight at 150 keg. I honestly might just go out there and just hit it for 1 and just call it a day. Stone to shoulder event is going to be very up in the air for me. I'll have to see how I feel when I get there. And when I mean there, I mean to that actual event, because the way stones treat my arms right now, I'll put it this way: I've never been this stressed physically to the point where it started messing with me, mentally, to the point where I am actually in legitimate fear of getting an actual injury. I've never once walked into an event like, you could get injured with this. But right now, with the way this thing feels in this moment, it is a legitimate fear that something could go bad. Who knows? Maybe I'll wake up in the morning and I'll feel better. I don't want to have this mentality, but at the same time, getting an injury that would prevent me from working is not worth it. At this point in my life, unfortunately, I can't take that risk. So we'll just have to see how I feel in the morning. Who knows? Maybe I'll get there, get warmed up, and things will actually feel better, you know? I mean, the reality is, I know me, I'm stupid. I probably will try to just leave it all out there no matter what. And maybe somebody will talk some sense into me, actually. But we'll just have to play it by ear and wait and see how everything goes. Like I said, some of the plans on the events have changed a little bit. And now the new plan is just go in there and don't zero any events. And try to keep enough in reserve to at least get something for that stone to shoulder, because a 205 stone to shoulder would be a PR for me. I've never actually done that in either real life or in a comp. Just never had the opportunity in a show, and I don't practice a lot of stone to shoulder because the movement is just different enough to where I'm not saying it wouldn't transfer to stone loading, but getting a stone to shoulder, you don't really have to get on your tiptoes and go to a full triple extension. You just kind of have to throw your hips hard enough to roll it up your body. Whereas with stone loading, I have to practice loading really high. So, you know, this, that, and the other. Wish me luck. My mentality will be different in the morning. I'll feel better in the morning after a nice little power nap and then a nice 2-hour drive. But I'm looking forward to it. At the very least, hanging out with old friends, making some new ones, and getting to show off some of my work, which is something I always enjoy. Next week I'll have more time. It'll be a slightly less stressful week for me. Sort of back to regularly scheduled programming in a lot of ways, both for my training and for the for work and all of it. So I look forward to that. Next week I'll have some more breakdowns and I'll talk about the show as well. So yeah, don't make decisions on full stomachs or without sleeping on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sleep on it and we'll just see how I feel in the morning. So yeah, empty stomach, take a nap. If you don't, then what's your excuse?